I've heard people say, don't run ads until you're good at making content. How do you feel about this statement? What advice would you give to someone that sucks at making content?
Yeah. I mean, your ads, specifically like Meta ads or Facebook, Instagram ads,
Yeah.
they're just pieces of content that have more impressions.
Mm,
So if your organic content sucks and isn't converting people who like create an impression to actually like care about what you're doing in the video,
mm,
then it's going to have the same conversion ratio as it does when you start throwing $100 behind it or $1,000 behind it.
mm.
So if your content sucks, you should probably fix that first.
Right.
Like to a degree, like if you have an amazing song, sometimes just having a crappy ad with the song playing in it will actually do reasonably well. Like when I say crappy ad, I mean like getting the artwork of the song and making some basic animation thing out of
Right.
it.
Nothing major.
Like just very basic.
Yeah.
I usually tell people to avoid ads like that because they're boring, but sometimes they work.
Yeah.
They work great. But I think it's a good recommendation that if you should try doing the organic stuff first. You should try figuring out content. You try learning about your audience organically so that you can take those skills that you've learned making organic content, apply it to your ads, take those skills you've learned about who listens to your music and who doesn't, and
Right.
apply that to your targeting. Just so you kind of cut your teeth with some free stuff before you just start dropping $1,000 a month.
Right.
You know?
Right.
And it depends. Like I know people who they're already good at stuff, and so they just jump right into doing ads. But I do see people who probably shouldn't jump into ads yet.
Yeah.
Right? They should maybe take a couple months and dabble with free stuff like social media content and fail a few times so that they fail for free instead of failing and
True.
spending $5,000 to fail because that's an expensive mistake.
Oh man, fail for free, please, people.
Yeah.
Fail for free. I mean, because and it's what you're saying too. It's if the content's just not there, and you're expecting a result, and then you put money behind it, also expecting a result. It's probably you
Yeah.
gotta switch something up here. It's you're just not moving in the right direction.
Yeah.
Um, that's a good one. I do like that one. That's an interesting question.
It is. And
yeah.
that's why a few years ago I had Adam Ivy on my channel because he doesn't talk much about ads, and I talk a lot about ads.
Yeah.
And so the whole thing I wanted him to talk about in the video was what artists should do before they do ads.
Oh.
And, I think that's important.
Yeah.
Because I talk a lot about it, so people assume that the only thing I think you should do is just spend a bunch of money in ads and not do nothing else.
No.
But there's a bunch of other people in the space, like Jesse Cannon, Newsformation is another big channel that talks about organic stuff.
Nice.
Highly recommend people learn about the organic stuff and the free music marketing and like branding and whatever, in addition to everything you're doing with ads if you have a budget. 'Cause
Right.
It just helps. Like if you have $10,000 a month to spend on ads and you do nothing else but run ads and you have no social media content and your branding sucks and your music sucks, probably not going to go anywhere.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
So you need everything, or you need a lot of it. You don't
Right.
have to do everything, but you can't just have a budget.
Right. And that's important because I think some people think that you can just throw money at it and it's going to solve problems, and that is not the game we're playing. I think you even stated that where you encourage and say, hey, let's get the free stuff going, do it organically, do what you got to do without the money first, fail, see how you can be better at the craft and making content, and then once you get to a level, because I think what happens too is that sometimes this is the good thing about the creating of content. There are times where you create something and you're kind of getting up, you're taking, you're leveling up, you're learning, you're putting the work in, and you start to see, the fruits of your labor through that engagement. You start to see it's like, oh snap! After this cool reel, like we did it, we're kind of doing things better. We're doing 4K now. We got a little camera. We invested some money, and so you're starting to see some results. I love that because I think that's kind of where we were. I was at a certain point in time when I was helping a lot of these artists. It was very consistently, being consistent, dropping content, it not doing amazing. It's a little here and there, nothing major. But once you break that door open and you start to see like what something can do with no money, with just like cool content, that's like pretty awesome. That's a great feeling. To see that like wow, through the consistency of us just trying hard and just being diligent and just working on the craft, we're killing it, and it just opened up, and we spent no money on that. That was
Yeah.
just what it was, and now that we see what it is, let's start bringing in some dollars. It makes sense. You're kind of graduating. Let's move. Let's go on to the next level. So I do enjoy that one a lot for sure.